Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. As my grandpa told me, my dad passed away right after the day of my fourth birthday. The same day itself, my mom got together with her affair partner, Alex, who she has met at her work and had been seeing since the past couple of years. She even brought him to my dad's funeral to ask for forgiveness and blessings. Needless to say, this caused a scene at my dad's funeral. My grandpa expressed that time was her not even letting my dad rest in peace for the last time. The scene was so bad that the cops were to be called to kick them out from the funeral service. Ever since that day, my mom just left. She never came back, not to get her things or to get me. And after everything she had done at my dad's funeral, my grandparents, or any of my relatives for that matter of fact, didn't bother to even reach out to her. So my mom and dad's side of the family started to raise me together. And honestly, I feel so proud to say this because with my condition, my family never made me feel like I didn't have my own parents. It was like no matter what relative I was living at, I was made to feel like I belonged, like I was meant to be here and wasn't just some outsider. My mom didn't completely disappear from my life, though. In the span of 17 years, she had popped up twice. Once to update us that she was alive and well, meaning to show us a picture of her new family, and the other time, well, to wish me a happy birthday on my 10th birthday. I still remember the call that we had. It was so awkward and weird. It was like I knew who I was talking to, but at the same time, that person was a complete stranger to me. I guess she figured that too and decided to leave me alone because ever since then, she never contacted me or any of my family. Well, I grew up this way without even realizing that I didn't have a mom or dad because of how much love I was showered with. And I feel blessed to have the privilege to go through a good school and degree college. Regardless of what their financial condition was, my family made sure to give me the best of what they had. So, with all this love, support, and care, as well as opportunities, I am blessed to get into a good college and complete my degree in a field that pays me extremely well. So, I moved houses into another different city after graduation with my now girlfriend, Mina. We've been dating for about 5 years now and have had a beautiful relationship. Well, enough of context and now onto the issue. This week was no different. My girlfriend and I went about our week at work and other activities we usually do together until the weekend rolled around and my girlfriend showed me her Facebook account where she has her friend request page opened, and I was absolutely shocked as I saw her page flooding with requests from my mom and her family. It was almost suspicious to me, but she told me that she just wanted to ask me what I wanted her to do with these requests, to which I just responded to reject them, which she did. So I just moved on from that, thinking it was just another pathetic attempt from my mom to get in contact with me or show off her family, but boy, was that not it. Another week passed since this thing happened, and this time I saw my Facebook being flooded with requests from the same people who had requested my girlfriend. But this time, these requests were accompanied by a message request, and the message was from none other than, drum rolls please, my pathetic excuse of a mom. I had a disgusting feeling in my stomach as I saw the request. I wasn't even in the mood or headset to want to open it because she had buttered my mood just by messaging me. But of course, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to, for once, open her message, and boy, was it full of spam. I sat there, scrolling for about a couple of minutes as I reached to the very message she sent me. It started off from her asking me how I was, and slowly it progressed to her giving me a long, detailed update about her life, which I was least interested about. But for this post, it basically said that she had 4 kids ever since she left, and Alex has left her about a year back for another woman. I continued to scroll down, and she was talking about how she wanted to reconnect, how she was thinking about me ever since Alex left her because it made her rethink about her mistakes. Her remorse immediately made me suspicious. I just continued to read, and there I had it. Her confessing to me that she was pregnant once again with her boss's baby. I literally felt a pit in my stomach as I read that sentence. I kept my phone down for a second before picking it up again to read the rest of the text. And needless to say, the rest of the text just talked about her demand for money. I was enraged as soon as I read the paragraph and wrote her a simple paragraph wherein I explained it to her, plain and simple, that I wasn't going to help her even if I had the money, after everything she did to me. She started arguing with me over texts and I just couldn't keep it to myself. So I told my girlfriend and family about it, who were all on my side initially, but after hearing that she was pregnant, they all kind of became dicey. So I'm stuck in the middle and really need some advice. What should I do here? AITA? I received yet another message today, but it wasn't from my mom. It was from David, her son. David introduced himself as my mom's youngest son and asked me if we could meet since he wanted to talk about this situation. David seems like a pretty normal guy with a normal family, so we have decided on a time to meet up. As for my mom, she's slowly trying to visit, call, message all of my dad's and her side of the family, and everyone has started to deny her of help because, of course, if you literally ghost everyone you've ever known from your life just to return and ask for help, no one is going to. I guess now that they're all being faced with this situation, suddenly everything is easy to judge. Not that I'm blaming them, but just pointing out human nature. But enough of ranting for now. I will update once I meet up with David. Hi, all. The meeting with David went really well. It was like all the misunderstanding I had towards my mom's sons kind of disappeared by talking to him, and I just came to the realization that my step siblings were yet another set of victims of my mom. David began by talking about how much of a mess of a marriage she and Alex had, how she had spiraled into some sort of addiction where she would spend all and any money that Alex would bring home by working. All the money she earned was spent into her addiction too. And David, along with his siblings, had to go through years of poverty because Alex was head over heels for my mom. Their lives stayed this way until they all started earning their own money and doing their own thing. It wasn't until last year, though, that Alex found out about my mom's 4-year-long affair with her boss. Not only that, she had also been taking thousands of dollars worth of money from him every month to fund her addiction. Hearing all of this was just weird, but I knew I had to swallow this reality. So I continued to listen to him as he spoke about how Alex was ready to forgive her affair too, but the moment he found out that she was pregnant, he left immediately, moving in with one of his exes that he had kept as a side piece. Well, before leaving though, Alex made sure to report to the human resources as well as the boss's wife about my mom's affair, which led her to be fired, and his affair partner breaking things off with him. David continued by saying that she had first started to ask money from them, then Alex and his side of the family, and after being rejected by all of them, she decided to come and leech onto us. That wasn't all, though. She had also logged into all of their Facebook accounts as she was over their places to send me and my girlfriend friend requests, as if that was going to help somehow. Well, after this explanation, I just knew I didn't want to help her. It was like even after receiving a whole new family to play happy family with, she messed up very horribly at that. But that's not even it, because I guess making people's lives miserable has become a new goal for her. It was right after I left the restaurant where I met David. I was just leaving for home when I received a call from my grandparents who explained to me how my mom had just tried breaking into their house while they weren't home. She was able to get inside the house, but by the way she broke the window to get in, the neighbors were alerted, who called the cops, and my grandparents, who rushed home. They told me that they would update me about the rest once they're done dealing with the cops. I have decided to fly over to my grandparents' city to make sure everything is fine as well. I will most likely be posting a final update soon, so stay tuned for that. Hi all, here's the final update. My mom was arrested by the cops for breaking into my grandparents' place. They decided to press charges because they knew if she was left to wander around, she would definitely do worse things. According to my grandparents, it's almost like my mom has lost her state of mind because all she seems to talk about is money. She threw a huge fit in front of the cops as they arrested her. She's under police custody currently, and as far as I've been told, she'll definitely be facing jail time for the break in. As soon as I reached there and heard all of this, I was pretty weirded out. It was like the mother I knew and heard about, even though she wasn't the best person to begin with. Everything that she did and has done genuinely makes me disgusted to realize that this is the woman that gave birth to me. I mean, how can a person just be so toxic? So much so that they ruin the lives of multiple people around them. It is truly heartbreaking, but regardless, I can happily say that she is once again out of our lives, and this time forever and for good. Thank you all. NTA, your mom is a horrible excuse of a mother and should have taken away the title of mom away from her. After reading everything she's done with you, I wouldn't be surprised if she has treated her other children just as horribly. NTA, after everything she did to you, you don't owe her crap. Pregnant or not, she is a horrible person, period. I, 28 male, have been with my wife, 29 female, for 7 years. I love her with all my heart, but I am really upset with her right now. A little over a year ago, my wife announced that she was pregnant. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't jumping for joy at the idea of being a father. She was on the pill and, to my knowledge, took it perfectly. But I guess we fell into that 1% where birth controls fail. I suggested abortion, but she wanted to keep the baby, so we went through with the pregnancy. My whole view has changed now that my son, 5 months old now, is here. All of my worries and apprehensions melted away the first time I held him. However, I realized very quickly that my wife was not doing her share of childcare. We both WFH, but I am the only one who gets up when he's crying to feed, change, and soothe him. She didn't want to breastfeed, which is totally fine, but she has only fed him a handful of times in the past 5 months. She refuses to get up at night, so all of his nighttime care is on me. I can count on one hand the amount of diapers she has changed. I was lenient at first because I understand birth is very taxing on the body and can be traumatic, but I have seen no improvement in the past 5 months, despite talking to her multiple times and telling her I need help. I'm exhausted. When I bring it up, she'll say she'll try harder, but she never does. Obviously, PPD and other such mental health issues were an immediate concern, but all of the doctors we went to said she doesn't fit the criteria. She loves our son, cuddles him, and plays with him, but doesn't do any of the hard work like feeding and diaper changes. She has not gotten up at night a single time. I reached the end of my rope today when my son would not stop crying. I was doing my best to soothe him, and my wife had the audacity to look up from the TV and complain that he was being too loud and to take him in another room. I'm ashamed to admit, but I yelled at her and told her she's being a horrible mother. She was deeply upset by this and went to stay with her parents, leaving me and my son at home. Now she's calling me an AH and has my in-laws texting and calling me to tell me how much of an AH I am. I'm just so tired. I feel like a single parent. I do feel bad because I know what I said was mean, but I am also so angry that she's enjoying the good parts of parenting while I'm stuck with the hard parts. She goes out with friends and does fun things and partakes in her hobbies while I stay home with our baby. I have not gotten a day to myself in 5 months. AITA? She has nothing medically wrong with her, mental, physical, or otherwise. NTA, her reaction upon being called a bad mom was to leave you and the baby alone? I think she basically proved your point. If she truly does not have anything wrong with her, then she's just a horrible mother and maybe you should consider getting full custody. NTA, in all honesty, if you were to switch you and your wife in this tale, it would be an extremely typical story of what many women experience with their husbands postpartum, which would in turn trigger a unanimous husband is the a-hole. It hits hard seeing a mother act this way. Why WBTA if she was experiencing PPD, but you appear to be fully on top of that and have excluded it, which is valuable information? Honestly, I wish you the best. I had a bad past with my mother-in-law when I met her. She was with her first husband, father-in-law, who did not like me at all because I wasn't Jewish. He begged and bribed my wife to end things, and when we got married, he disowned her and pressured mother-in-law to go along with him. For some background, father-in-law was 30 years older than mother-in-law. She hadn't worked since she met him and had a classic lit degree, which she had only got to look for a husband and had no idea how she would use it if crap hit the fan. They had a very traditional marriage where he was head of the household, but he also treated her very well. For the most part, gave in to her, and she was in no way afraid of him, so I fully blame her for disowning her daughter. Father-in-law died during the estrangement. Mother-in-law reached out years later when she was remarried and wanted to mend things. She claimed that she didn't want to disown her daughter, but he pressured her. Then she didn't reach out when he died because she was embarrassed. She said she is a different person now and wants to fix things. To be honest, I don't think she is a different person. I just think she is rich from father-in-law dying and now has nothing to lose. She is still money obsessed, in deep denial, and performatively Jewish when she wants to be. I really don't want her around my daughter, but agreed to compromise with my wife. Recently, we got into a fight about the past, and mother-in-law said the exact words. I thought your father was wrong, but I wasn't going to be poor for anyone. I'm sorry. I wish I was a better person. That solidified everything I thought about her. Anyway, our first child is named after my mom. Mother-in-law knows this and found out what we were planning on naming the child my wife is pregnant with. She burst into tears and said we will never forgive her. Her husband later sent us a text about we are really mean to her and what did we want her to do with an ironclad prenup and no career prospects. I texted back, I wasn't going to be poor for anyone, with a vomit emoji. My wife is now backtracking and saying her mom's name is such a common middle name and it's pretty. So why not just throw her a bone and use our original name with hers for the middle? I said no and no every time she brings it up. I just repeat, I wasn't going to be poor for anyone. Mother-in-law found this out and has been crying. A lot of people think I was too hard on her, and it's just a middle name. NTA, it's logical to not want to name your children after someone who prefers money over her own child. You and your wife have to find a name that you both agree on. Middle name is still a part of the name. ESH, you are quick to judge and slow to empathize. Your mother-in-law told you exactly what kind of person she is, but it doesn't follow that she is a bad or irredeemable person. I can think of several reasons based on religion, social status, family, culture, age, as well as money, why she would choose to stay with her husband. Do I respect or even like people like her? No. But I do know there are a myriad of reasons why people choose to stay with abusive, controlling spouses, and few of them make the victim an a-hole. I can't even blame your mother-in-law for choosing money. I've been poor. It sucks. I don't know that I would choose money over adult children, but I don't really blame her. Unless y'all were planning on stepping up and supporting her, she made the choice necessary to take care of her best interests. Venal and mercenary, but not beyond redemption. As for the name thing, that's just manipulative and a red herring. Ignore it. Talk with your wife about what she wants as a relationship with her mom going forward and develop a plan so you all are on the same page. If mother-in-law can prove she has changed and wants a second chance, then give her that chance. Your wife deserves a chance to have her mother back, and if mother-in-law fails, then you all can go NC with a clear conscience. NTA, but this is more your wife's issue than yours. Mother-in-law hurt you, but not as badly as she hurt her daughter. I think you should listen more to your wife.